How's it going? I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm so thankful to be with you guys again this Wednesday to have a fun live discussion about sewing and some sewing tips. I've got a really good sewing tip coming at you in a few minutes, but first, I have a new poll for us. So, a reminder, you can leave a comment below with your answer to this question. It's super interesting to see the different answers that we get from you guys, and I'm sure that you love seeing the answers too. So today I'm curious, do you sew with music or without? So do you turn on your phone, the radio, listen to music while you're sewing? Or are you like me and just like the peace and quiet and the sound of the sewing machine? I'm super curious. Remember to drop your answer to that in the comments on this video. Okay, so another announcement, as you can see behind me here, I've got all these boxes that are almost ready to be closed and sent out. If you are one of our 200 plus members of our sewing monthly club, these boxes are the ones that are going to be sent out by Saturday. So that's exciting. You will get these before Christmas and in time to use some of the stuff inside for Christmas. And I'm really excited for the things that we put together in these boxes for you. So you have to let me know how you like them when you get them. Okay, so I believe that that is all the fun announcements I have. Let's head over to my sewing machine and I'm going to show you the tip that I have for you this week. Oftentimes, when sewing machines are having a hard time making an actual stitch, people think about tension. And when most people think about tension, they think about this tension knob here, which is the tension for the top thread. However, there is one other thread that also needs tension checked. That is our bobbin. Now, the way to tell if you need to change the top tension or the bottom tension is by noticing which side of the fabric stitching is all loopy and funny. Usually, if there's loops on the bottom of the piece of fabric, that means that the top thread isn't being pulled back to the top of the piece of fabric, and that would be top tension that would need to be tighter. But sometimes the loops on the bottom of the sewing can be caused by the bobbin. Now, what I wanted to point out is a really simple mistake that I see lots of times when there's issues like this. Now, this is only going to apply to people who have these top-load bobbins, which is, as you can see here, the bobbin falls in from the top when we load it. This is a newer type of design. They didn't used to have them in the olden days because they would never have as much power, but with technology advances these days, they work really great, and so a lot of sewing machine companies are going to this top load design. Now, what that means for those of you who have front loads that you're used to having that little the bobbin case that you put in and out. And you know that little crack that goes along the side that you stick your thread out? Well, this front load doesn't have a separate bobbin case with that slit. It has a built-in bobbin case. So this is all you need to put in. No bobbin case. But there's still that slit in the built-in bobbin case. The reason why they have those slits for your bobbin is that's what causes the bobbin thread to have tension. So that's how this all winds back around to our tension discussion. But what I see often is people with top-load machines, they fill their bobbin and then they go. And they grab their thread with the top thread. That pulls this thread over here, and there's no tension. It hasn't gone through the slit. So what you need to do is drop in your bobbin, bring this thread all the way over to this side, and pull towards you and around. That will catch it into the little slit. The little slit on these top-load bobbins are about right here, pointed towards the front of the sewing machine. And an easy way for you to check is when the top thread grabs this bobbin thread, you will be able to see the thread go from about this corner across into where your needle comes. So it should show across the top of the bobbin here. If you don't see any thread over the top of this bobbin as you're sewing and you're having issues, then that means that you need to take your bobbin out and rethread it to get that thread into that crack. Now, that should solve all your issues, and especially this time of year with Christmas around the corner, if you have kiddos or grandkids that are planning on getting a sewing machine for Christmas, you'll probably end up with one of these top-load machines. And I know when I first got my very first top-load machine, it was super intimidating to me because I wasn't aware of that trick and kept having issues with my bobbin. But the one good thing to remember is most of these new machines have little diagrams here that show how to load the bobbin. So as long as you pay attention to these diagrams, if you forget, you'll be golden. I hope that that was a super helpful tip for you. I know that that's something that I run into all the time that people have questions about with those top-load sewing machines. So, I don't have too much left to talk about, so let's jump into our question time. If you have questions, now's the time to drop them in the comments, and I will get to those and answer them. If you're watching on the replay, or if I miss the questions on the during the live video here, I will go through afterwards and answer those. So even if you're replaying this, go ahead and drop your questions, and I'd love to answer those for you. Okay, question number 1 is our poll for the week. So if you guys missed the beginning of this video, here's our poll again. Go ahead and comment in the comments below. Do you sew with music or with quiet, without music? I like to sew without music. I'm not sure why, but I'm curious how many of you guys are in the same boat with me. Okay, next question. This is a relevant one to our tip for today. What does tension even mean? So, if you're new to sewing, you probably think tension of maybe family during the holidays has a lot of tension, right? Or people arguing, that's tension. However, for sewing, it's more like when you fish, right, you want to keep tension on the line, which means keeping it tight, right? So for sewing, our tension is the tightness that the sewing machine holds on to the thread as it goes through the machine. So the top thread and the bottom thread, which is the bobbin, both have tension because if the string was just or the thread was just going through without being held onto at all, it would be really floppy and loose. And as the thread goes into the stitch through the fabric, there would be nothing to pull it back out to create a nice tight stitch. So the tension is basically just how tight the sewing machine holds onto the thread, and that determines how tight the stitch is when it's made. Okay, one more question it looks like. Good question. What is this sewing club that you keep talking about? So, a few years ago, I created this sewing club with pre-cut sewing kits that ship out to people every month. I did this because I was so busy and I wanted something that was pre-cut because I hate cutting things. It's a lot more fun to just sew them. So basically, there's boxes like this that get sent out to our members every month, and it includes a pre-cut sewing project, some extra fat quarters and fabrics, and a tool or sewing goodie. It also comes with tips and tricks, kind of like the tip that I shared with you guys today in the video, and other goodies as well. So it's like a really fun sewing club, but you also get um, physical items, and all the video trainings and tutorials and stuff are online. So you can do it from the comfort of your home or wherever you are on the road, actually. So, hopefully that answers your question. If you want some more information, you can go to sewwhatbox.com and see that there. If you sign up in December as a new member, you can get your first shipment for free. The first shipment will be sent out between January 1st and 4th. So if you want to buy it for a Christmas present, go ahead and reach out to me through the contact button on the website, and we can get a certificate or something to you that you can wrap up and put under the tree. Okay, guys, so just a reminder in case you missed our poll, do you sew with music or without? Go ahead and comment with your answers below. I'm so glad that I got to spend this time with you guys today, and I look forward to talking to you guys next Wednesday. Bye.